Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados, friends, family, and anyone else starting with F, and anyone else as well. Today I am again playing fighting fantasy game books, and the turn has come for City of Thieves, fighting fantasy game book number 5. And with the iconic Ian McCaig cover as well as Ian McCaig internal illustrations. Quite a nice book. And this one is in quite good nick as well. Internally anyway, there's a bit of a fold on the cover, but that's no matter. So, City of Thieves, frequently ranked highest on people's list of the best fighting fantasy game books, so I'm a bit excited to play this one. I did have it before. I can't remember playing it, but I did have it a long time ago, sort of 30, 33, 34, 32, 33 years ago. And it will be interesting to see why people like this one the best. A bit curious to know what's so great about it. In any case, I'm planning to enjoy myself, and I'll be with you on my desk in a moment. So let's get ready to play City of Thieves. Okay. I just need to swap my windows over here so I can see what I'm actually doing down here. Make sure everything is in shot. I'm not sure about the lighting today. Is that bright enough? I think it is. Okay, so I've got my supplies, as I like calling it. I've got my dice, my pens, my pencil, my game book, most of all, and most importantly, my cup of tea. Can't really play game books without a cup of tea sometimes. Actually, I do play them without cups of tea. It just depends what time of day I'm playing. This just so happens to coincide with around the time of day when I normally have my second cup of tea, or occasionally I don't have one in the morning these days. I just have one in the middle of the day. So it's 1:20 in the afternoon, and I'm having my first cup of tea of the day. So, right, this is for my character sheet. As usual, I don't have any ready proper character sheet, but this one is nice and straightforward. Skill, stamina, luck. Oops, stamina and luck. In this one, you also have provisions, 10, and you have a potion. And as usual, I think I will go with a potion of stamina. Although it is called a potion of strength in the rules. I call it potion of stamina because potion of strength is sort of, you could be mistaken for thinking that had something to do with skill, and so I'll just call it potion of stamina, and it's one dose of that. It also specifically says in the rules, so far it seems the only book it doesn't say that is, specifically it says you can't use the potion in battle. In the first book, in Warlock of the Firetop Mountain, it says you can use it anytime. So that is a difference. It might be that all the potions later it says specifically do not use in battle. So that might be one of the things they changed after the first book. Anyway, that's one of the things I'm actually quite interested in looking at when I'm playing these books, is to see how it evolves, how the system evolves, how things get more consistent, and things like that. So, right, we'll head roll my abilities as well. For skill, 1 die plus 6, so that is a 9 today. Stamina, 20, and luck, also 9. So not great. And we'll see how that goes. Right, so, excuse me. Okay, so, did I actually remember to focus my camera properly now? Let's have a look and see. Okay, there we are. No autofocus while filming, unfortunately. Sorry about the wobble there. Oh, it's just making it worse if I'm trying to stop it. I'll just leave it and it will pendulate, is that a word? Pendulate itself into standing still after a while. Anyway. Right, so here we are. Let's start from the beginning. And my camera is a little bit higher up, like so. Okay. Right, background. And also another thing I have to watch today is my sound recorder, because I'm still curious when these batteries are going to run out. Yeah, it's still very fascinating to me how much longer the batteries last on this recorder than it did on my last one. Partly it's to do with the fact that the screen doesn't actually light up on this one, I think, but so it doesn't waste any battery on lighting the screen. Anyway, background. You are an adventurer in a world of monsters and magic, living by quickness of wit and skill of sword. You earn your gold as a hired warrior, usually in the employ of rich nobles and barons on missions too dangerous or difficult for their own men. Slaying monsters and fearsome beasts in pursuit of some fabled treasure comes as second nature to you. Being an experienced and highly trained swordsman, you allow nothing to stand in your way on your quests. Your success on a mission is always assured, and your reputation has spread throughout the lands. Whenever you enter a village or town, the news of your arrival spreads through the citizens like a wildfire, as few of them have ever met a dragon slayer before. One evening, after a long walk through the outlands, you arrive at Silverton, which lies at the crossroads of the main trading routes in these parts. Great wooden wagons, hauled by teams of oxen, are often seen rumbling slowly through the town, laden with herbs, spices, silks, metalware, and exotic foods from far-off lands. Over the years, Silverton has prospered as a result of the rich merchants and traders stopping there en route to distant markets. Its wealth is quite apparent, with ornate buildings and richly dressed people aplenty. But as you enter the town gates, something strikes you as being not quite right. The people look nervous and on edge. Then you notice that all the windows on the buildings have great iron grills bolted over them, and the doors have been strengthened too. Although you prefer your own company to that of others, you decide to stay in Silverton for the night to find out who or what is troubling the people. As you walk down the main street, a single note from a bell rings out from a tall tower ahead. Then a man shouts almost desperately, "Nightfall! Nightfall! Everybody indoors!" You see people scurrying around with anxious faces and looking surprised when they see you. Across the street you see a tavern with the words, "The Old Toad," painted on its signboard. As you enter the tavern, a whisper runs through the locals as they recognize you. Some put down their mugs and stare. You are somewhat surprised that none come over to you to hear tales of adventure. Walking over to the counter, you ask the old innkeeper for a room and a hot tub, but he ignores you and shuffles over to the great oak door, pushing 6 large iron bolts into place. Only then does he turn to you and say quietly, "That will be 5 copper pieces for the room and 1 more for the tub, in advance, if you please." You reach into a leather pouch on your belt and toss the coins on the counter. He hands you an iron key, but at that very moment there is a loud knocking at the door, followed by a voice shouting, "Open up! Open up! This is Owen Caroliff." The old innkeeper shuffles over to the oak door again and slides open the bolts. Then a fat and balding man dressed in rich scarlet robes bursts into the tavern, looking around frantically. He sees you and walks quickly in your direction, huffing and puffing. He is a man certainly not used to haste. You notice great beads of sweat on his forehead in the pale candlelight of the room. As he nears you, he calls out urgently, "Stranger, I must speak with you. Please sit down. It is important that I speak with you." When he turns to the innkeeper to snap his fingers for food and drink, you can see that he is obviously of some standing in the town. But his face is full of anguish and sorrow. Being curious, you decide to hear what the man has to say. He pulls out a chair for you at the table, bidding you to sit down, and the innkeeper bustles in with a tray laden with hot broth, roast goose, and mead. The man in the scarlet robe sits opposite in silence, watching you as you feast, as though examining you for some purpose of his own. Finally, as you push your plate away, the man leans forward and says in a low but anxious voice, "Stranger, I know of you and seek your aid. My name is Owen Caroliff, and I am the mayor of Silverton. We are in great trouble and danger. We are living under a curse, and it is I who must rid us of it. 10 days ago, 2 messengers of evil rode into town on huge black stallions. Stallions with fiery red eyes. It was impossible to see the faces of the riders, for they wore long black cloaks with hoods pulled over their faces. Their voices were cold, and each word spoken ended with an unnerving hiss. Yeah, that sounds very familiar if you've seen Lord of the Rings. They asked for me by name, and when I came to greet them, they wanted to take my beloved daughter, Mirelle, to stay with their master, Zanbar Bone. No doubt you know that he is a Night Prince. Of course I refused their demand, and without another word they turned and rode slowly out of the town. Heads down and shoulders hunched. I knew then that beneath the cloaks were hidden the skeletal and soulless bodies of spirit stalkers. Zanbar Bone always uses them as his messengers, as they will complete their mission or die in the attempt. And they do not die easily. Only a silver arrow through the heart will release those evil beings from their eternal twilight existence. Who knows what it would take to kill Zanbar Bone? Anyway, that same night after the spirit stalkers left, our troubles began. The Night Prince was angry and determined to harm us. 6 moondogs came, each stronger than 4 men, each with razor-sharp fangs. They stalked through the town, entering homes through open windows and killing the poor people inside. In the morning we counted 23 dead, so we barred our windows and bolted our doors, yet each night the moondogs return and we are unable to sleep, for fear that they might find a way into our homes. Some people are now talking of sending Mirelle to Zanbar Bone. Those whimpering traitors, I should have them flogged. Well, I suppose if you sacrifice just one person for all the victims of the moondogs, it seems fair, doesn't it? It's just being selfish now. To save his daughter, he will let all these other people die. Oh well. That's people in charge for you. But what good would that do? There is but one hope, and that rests with you, stranger. There is a man called Nicodemus who, for reasons I'll never understand, lives in Port Blacksand. The place is commonly called the City of Thieves, as it is the home of every pirate, brigand, assassin, thief, and evildoer for hundreds of miles around. I think he lives there just to get some peace from the likes of us. He is a wise old wizard and is unlikely to come to much harm even in Port Blacksand, for his magical powers are great. He alone is capable of defeating Zanbar Bone. He used to be a friend of mine many years ago. We need him, and I beg you to bring him to us. None here dares enter Port Blacksand. You will be well rewarded if you help us, stranger. Take these 30 gold pieces for your journey and take this sword to use and keep. So 30 gold pieces. Let's see, gold. 30. Okay. As Owen Carolif rises, he pulls back his scarlet robe, revealing the finest broadsword you have ever seen. He hands it to you, and touching the edge of the blade, you are surprised to see a droplet of blood fall from your finger. You then examine the marvelously ornate gilded serpents twining round the hilt. You have never wanted anything so badly in your life before. You stand up and hold out your right arm to Owen. He shakes it eagerly, saying, "You must set off at the first light of dawn. The moondogs will be gone by then. I shall be forced to stay the night here also, so let's drink to our destiny and may the gods be with us." For the next hour, Owen talks about your coming journey, explaining in detail how to reach Port Blacksand. Later you gather up your backpack and furs and climb the wooden stairs to your room. You sleep uneasily despite the security afforded by your new broadsword, as you are more than once woken by the sniffing, scratching and howling of the roaming moondogs outside. By dawn you are already awake and dressed, and determined to reach Port Blacksand quickly to find this man Nicodemus. As you leave the tavern, a black cat scurries past your feet and you almost trip. A bad omen, perhaps. Now turn over. Okay, so that was, I think, that surely must be one of the longest introductions in fighting fantasy history. Right. Let's get started. Okay, so we are already in Port Blacksand. Next paragraph here. So the walk to Port Blacksand takes you west some 50 miles across plains and over hills, fortunately without any harmful encounters. Eventually, you reach the coast and see the high city walls surrounding Port Black Sand and the cluster of buildings projecting into the sea like an ugly black mark. Oh, excuse me. Ships lie anchored in the harbour and smoke rises gently from chimneys. The Black Mark. Do people know the Black Mark? It's a pirate thing. It's called the Black Mark, and it's one of the ways that, you know, how the mafia, how they would sort of threaten people by leaving a fish or a horse's head in your bed, things like that. But in the pirate days, one of the ways that people would threaten others is to give them something with a black mark on it. And that sort of shows you that you have been marked for assassination, or there's a contract on you. And and obviously Ian Livingstone knows about this because he compares the look of Port Blacksand to a black mark. So it's a reference to pirate history, I think, there. Anyway. Ships lie anchored in the harbour and smoke rises gently from chimneys. It looks peaceful enough, and it is only when the wind changes that you smell the decay in the breeze to remind you of the evil nature of this notorious place. Following the dusty road north along the coast to the city gates, you begin to notice fearful warnings. Skulls on wooden spikes, starving men in iron cages suspended from the city wall, and black flags everywhere. As you approach the main gate, a chill runs down your spine and you instinctively grip the hilt of your broadsword for reassurance. At the gate, you are confronted by a tall guard wearing a black chainmail, coat, and iron helmet. He steps forward, barring the way with his pike, saying, "Who would enter Port Blacksand uninvited? State the nature of your business or go back the way you came." Will you tell him you wish to be taken to Nicodemus? Tell him you wish to sell some stolen booty? Or attack him quickly with your sword? Right, so we are here on paragraph 1. And we have 3 choices open to us. 1, 2, 3, I'll just put them like that. So attack. I'm not sure that sounds like a very good idea. Sell booty or be taken to Nicodemus. Nicodemus. Well, the most sort of obvious thing, if you want to have a cover story, I suppose, is to tell him you wish to sell some stolen booty. But wouldn't it be obvious that I didn't have any with me? So maybe you'll sort of figure me out by that. I'm going to tell him I wish to be taken to Nicodemus. Why not? Let's try that. Go for the diplomatic approach. That's not going to work in this city, is it? People aren't diplomatic here. Anyway. So, make some arrows there on my map. Okay, so the guard replies that he will send for an escort to take you to Nicodemus. That sounds all right then. He reaches up to a small bell on the wall of the guardhouse and rings it 3 times. Almost immediately, 2 other guards come running out of the house, and you are surprised when they each grab hold of one of your arms. The guard with the pike looks up to the sky and laughs, saying, "So you want to see Nicodemus, do you? How would you like to see the inside of a dungeon cell instead? Guards, take this fool away to be shackled and throw away the key, will you?" Not will you. That wasn't part of what he said. And throw away the key. Will you allow yourself to be taken away, attempt to fight the guards, or try to bribe the guards? Okay, so I was given 30 gold pieces before I started this, which sort of indicates to me that maybe bribing your way out of some things might actually be the intention of this book. I'm going to try to bribe them, see what happens, and see if that is a good option. So again, I'll do like so. So 151 taken away. 69 fight, or 276 bribe. Okay, so I'm going to try to bribe them and see how much it costs. Hopefully I'll be able to get a rate before I Find out. Okay, so actually I can choose how much I want to bribe them. You tell the guards that you will make it worth their while if they release you and allow your entry into the city. How much will you offer them? So I've been given 3 options now. So 3 different amounts of gold. 109 for 5 gold pieces. That's probably too low. 267. 10 gold pieces sounds more like it. 5 gold or 15. Well, it's sort of 3 guards, isn't it? 5 gold pieces each. 15. That sounds like quite a steep price. I mean, how do they? I would have given them 9 if I could, so they could split it 3 ways. I'll go with 10 gold pieces. See what happens. Also, I don't have to go very far. It's 2 pages back here. Okay, no, 3 pages. The 2 guards holding you look at each other and then at the other guard for a decision. He nods at them and they release their grip on you. As you pay him the 10 gold pieces, he gives you a piercing look, saying, if Lord Azov finds out that you are in this city without a pass, you're as good as dead. And as for Nicodemus, find him yourself. Suppressing an urge to draw your sword, you turn and walk into the city. Turn to 74. Okay, so 10 gold pieces seems to work. Okay, 74. And now I got 20 gold pieces left. You know, easy come, easy go. Through the main gates, you see that the rubbish-filled streets of the port are narrow and cobbled. Old and decrepit buildings line them closely, with their upper stories overhanging menacingly. You may go west down Key Street, head north along Market Street, or go east down Clock Street. And now this sounds like something that's made to be mapped, and not my kind of map, but a proper map. So I'll just do like so. Okay, so I'm not going to map it like that, obviously, because I'm trying to do a proper nodal flowchart map so I can find out exactly what I've done and not done sometimes. So 95. So that's West Key Street. North, so that's 116. North Market Street, and 17 East Clock Street. East 17. Whatever happened to East 17 anyway? I haven't heard anything about East 17 since the 90s. Not really my kind of music, but right. So west or east? I'm going to go west. Yes, I'm going to go west. I'm going to west down Key Street. On the left side of the street, you see a large iron key hanging over the doorway of a small shop. A sign in the window reads J.B. Raggins, Locksmith. If you want to enter the shop, turn to 224. We would rather continue walking west, turn to 300. So we've got... yeah, I'll just... that one there, actually. 324. Locksmith. Locksmith might be useful to go into locksmith. You might have lockpicks or some kind of universal key for all the houses and all the locks in the land. So 300 west. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at the shop, and that's quite a nice illustration there as well. Sitting on a stool at the back of the shop is an old bespectacled dwarf. He is busy cutting a key on a cast iron treadle machine, which squeaks and grinds noisily. You cough to get his attention, but he does not look up from his work. Finally, the machine comes to a halt and the dwarf asks you what you want. You may either ask him if he has any skeleton keys for sale, or ask him if he knows where Nicodemus lives. So, and this is where I actually made, should have mapped it slightly differently to make room for more than one option. So, 66 keys, question mark, or 236 Nicodemus. I suppose I'll ask him about skeleton keys. Key is always useful in fighting fantasy. Let's see. The dwarf smiles and boasts that he can make a key to open any lock in Port. Oh, actually, did I was right then. It did have universal keys. To open any lock in Port Blacksand. He says that his special keys are priced at 10 gold pieces each. If you want to buy a key, make the necessary deduction on your adventure sheet. So, skeleton key. You know what? I'll just buy 2 of those. I don't have any gold left now, so next time I need to bribe someone, I'll be in trouble and I'll have to fight. So, well, why not? So then I'll leave the shop and continue west. So I didn't get to ask him about Nicodemus then, but that's all right. I'm sure I'll find him eventually, or he'll find me, or something else will find me. Oh, yes, this is interesting. Okay, so the street makes a sudden right turn and heads north. You pass a cluster of small houses and are aware of unseen people watching you walk by. Then the door to one of the houses opens and a small boy dressed in rags runs out and hands you a piece of paper. Without stopping, he runs off and disappears round the corner. The paper has a message on it which reads, "Arrows from 6 bows are pointed at you. Leave 10 gold pieces in the middle of the street and keep walking. If you want to obey the instruction, make the necessary deduction on your adventure sheet. Lose 2 luck points and turn to 347. If you want to keep walking without leaving the goal, turn to 137. Oops. Now, he is handing me a piece of paper, and I mean, really, in a place like Port Blacksand, most people wouldn't know how to read or write. If I just keep walking, maybe they'll think that didn't know how to read. Okay, so 347 is minus 10 gold and minus 2 luck, and 137 is getting shot by 6 arrows, probably. I'll just have to go and get shot by 6 arrows because I don't have any more gold. Spent it all on keys, don't you know? 1, 3, so. As you take your first step forwards, you are alarmed to hear the familiar whistle of arrows flying through the air. They are coming from windows on either side of the street. Roll 1 die. This is the number of arrows that will hit you. 2. Okay, that's not too bad. And each will cause you to lose 3 stamina points. Okay, so stamina minus 1d6 times 3. Okay. And also minus 2 luck. Okay, minus 2 luck. And then you go to 327. If you're alive. Okay, so my stamina is then down by 6 points to 14. My luck is down to 7 points. Oh dear. Sounds like I should have bought just 1 skeleton gear and spent it on this instead. 327. You feel like a pincushion, and although the pain is almost unbearable, you manage to stagger on down the street. Head to your right, you see the door of one of the houses opening and a little girl looking out apprehensively. She beckons you to enter the house. If you wish to enter the house, turn to 126. If you wish to continue walking north, turn to 164. So So 126 is enter house. 164 is keep going north. I'll enter the house, see what's going on there. Yeah. The little girl grabs hold of your arm and leads you into a back room. Saying nothing, she motions you to lie down on the sheepskin rug. Suddenly you are aware of a very old man sitting opposite. He rises slowly from his rocking chair and walks over to you. You watch transfixed as he takes hold of an arrow protruding from your arm and gently pulls it free without causing you any pain. The wound made by the arrow disappears before your eyes. Other arrows are treated similarly if you suffered more than one wound. You may restore 2 stamina points for each arrow pulled free by the old man. Okay. So that's 18 then. Okay, so plus 2 stamina per arrow. Then in a slow and almost inaudible voice, he tells you that he wants the broadsword that Owen Caroliff gave you in payment for the healing. You feel obliged to give him your sword, though reluctantly. In exchange, he gives you an ordinary fighting sword, reduce your skill score by 1. That seems a bit unfair because your skill score was before you got was rolled for before you got the sword in the first place. But yeah, okay. I still don't really like how the fighting fantasy books sort of inconsistently handle weapons and armor. It always seems a little bit different, and also very often you feel like it's ambiguous as well because it affects skill rather than being a bonus to rolls or to skill. So for instance, what should have happened now was that when you got the sword in the beginning, it should have told you that was gave you +1 for battles, +1 for your attack score, and of course now that you have it taken away, it should have been back to 0 again. That's what I think. Anyway, room for improvement. But you leave the house and head north. Turn to 112. Okay, so what 2? While most of the houses in the street are small, cramped, and dark, you see one ahead that stands alone and is painted bright red. The door has a welcome sign hanging from it. That sounds very suspicious. If you wish to enter the house, turn to 154. If you prefer to keep walking north, turn to 334. So we have 154 or 334. North. Okay. Red house. Well, as it said in the introduction, I am curious. I'll find out what's inside. Okay. Inside the house, you find yourself in a room painted red. That's a lot of red. And empty apart from a table on top of which are 2 glass bowls. In one there is a small golden scorpion, and in the other lies a silver scorpion. In the far corner of the room there are stairs that lead up to another floor. You may pick up the golden scorpion, pick up the silver scorpion, climb the stairs, or leave the house. So we have 4 options like so. So we got 273 gold scorp, 13 silver scorpion, or 80 stairs. Now I'm thinking that one of these scorpions will come alive and sting me and kill me, or certainly injure me in some way or other. Statistically, so far, I think silver things have usually been more likely to be cursed than gold things. in the fighting fantasy books that I've played. Well, maybe it's the other way around this time, but I will go with a golden scorpion. I'll see what happens. Inspecting the scorpion, you see that it is a brooch. You decide to pin it to your leather tunic. It is a lucky charm. Add 2 luck points to your total. Okay, so my theory still holds. Gold things are good. What will you do next? You may, if you have not already done so, pick up the silver scorpion. Okay, so let's see, luck +2. Okay. So make up the silver scorpion. I may go climb the stairs or leave the house. So it's one of those things where you can do things in any order. Now, I'm not going to risk picking up the silver scorpion because I still think that's going to turn into a scorpion and sting you. So I'm going to climb the stairs. And that is a really nice picture. I like that one. Ooh, look at that. Okay. The stairs lead into a small room, again painted red. Sitting at a table is a strange creature with a long snout and deep red scaly skin. From its jaw protrude rows of sharp teeth, and the long pink tongue darts quickly in and out between them. The creature looks up and stares at you. Are you wearing a scorpion brooch? If you are, turn to 392. If not, turn to 215. So, okay, so maybe now he sees that I stole his brooch, and he is going to get a little bit irate, possibly. Or as we say in Britain, he won't be pleased. Oh well, let's see. Let's find out what's happening. So we are... Either we are wearing or we are not. So I'm wearing a scorpion brooch, so that's 392. Let's see, brooch, question mark, 392, yes. Or 215, no. So I'm going to go to 392 because I am wearing a scorpion brooch, proudly, I might add. Which means I have to fight, of course. The creature is outraged that you have stolen one of its brooches. It jumps up and you notice smoke curling up from its nostrils as its fury mounts. Suddenly a blast of fire shoots from its jaw and it moves towards you with outstretched claws. The blast misses you, but you must fight the creature. So, this is a lizardine. 8 skill, 8 stamina. As well as following the usual rules of battle. Throw 1 die every attack round for the lizardine's fiery breath. On a roll of 1, 2, or 3, it burns you for 1 point of damage to be subtracted from your stamina. On a roll of 4, 5, or 6, you manage to dodge the blast. You may use your luck against the fire, and you may escape by running back down the stairs and out of the house to head north. If you stay and win the battle, turn to 186. Okay, so 8 and a little asterisk there, which means special rules. And escape is possible, so that is 334. ESC, escape. And 186 is, let's put that over there, 186 win. So we have the options there. Okay. I think I'll fight it and see if I can win. I mean, statistically, I should be able to. And because I'm sort of feeling that maybe if I win that, there's something interesting there for me. Okay, so battles. Now, if this is your first Fighting Fantasy Gamebook play video that you have seen, battles are conducted as follows. Each monster has a skill and a stamina score, and so do you. When I made my character in the beginning, I had a skill and a stamina. So, oops, 818. When you can have a battle, what you do is you roll 2 dice for the your opponent, for the monster usually. And you add that to his skill score, and then you roll 2 dice for yourself, and you add that to your skill score. And if one of those is higher, then that is the winner of that combat round, and they injure the other one for 2 points of stamina. I like calling it hit points usually. If the numbers are equal, nobody injures anyone. It's also possible to use luck to affect how much damage you do. You might reduce stamina done to yourself with luck, or you might add damage to your opponent by using luck. But that's very risky because the luck goes down every time you do it, and it might be crucial for survival in other situations. So I only use that as a last resort if I'm close to death in a battle. So I'll just start this battle. The first roll is for the Lizardine. Rolls 10, adds it to a skill of 8, that's 18. I roll 4, added to a skill of 8, that's 12, so that's lower, and he injures me for 2 points, and I'm down to 16 hit points. I like calling it hit points because that's what it's called in Dungeons and Dragons, and I think it's the only word that really rolls trippingly off the tongue to describe how much health you've got left. You could say health, but it just sounds wrong. You could say stamina points, it's too long. So hit points, nice, short. It's got 2 different vowels. Hit points. Yeah, it just rolls trippingly off the tongue. So it's the best term for it, I believe. Right, so that was the first combat round. Second one, he rolls a 7, I roll a 9. So that's me hitting him. He's down to 6 stamina. And again, he rolls a 2. I roll a 6. That's very good. He's down to 4. I roll a 6. No, he rolls a 6. Sorry. I roll an 8. He's down to 2. Because it's quite easy now when you've got the same skill. You just compare the dice rolls. Really, he rolls an 8. I roll a 6. I'm down to 14. He rolls a 6. I roll a 7, and he is dead. Right, and if you choose to escape, if there is a escape in italics in the paragraph, and it says sometimes you have to wait a few rounds as well. When you choose to escape, you always he gets an automatic hit on you, and I forgot to do the fire breath now. Okay, so every round he does a fire breath thing. I'll just roll for those now. So we did let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of combat, and of course that's separate from the other attack. So 4, that's no, done 6 rounds. Okay, so that's 1, no, 2, no, 3, no, 4. Okay, that's 1 hit. 5, no, and 6 hits. Okay, so 2 hits. So that means 2 extra damage. So I am down to 12 hit points. There we are. Yeah, special rules, combat. Sometimes you forget. Sorry, I'm sitting a bit askew now. Okay, 186. I won the battle. So. On top of the Lizardine's table, you find 4 gold pieces and a scorpion brooch made of copper. Oh, maybe I've got the whole set here. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so 4 gold pieces. That's all I got now, and I've got my gold scorpion brooch. If you wish to pick up the brooch and pin it to your tunic, down to 387. Maybe this is the cursed one, the bronze one. Let's see, and then you can go to 334. So either you check out the brooch and go to 387, or you go to 334. I'm going to check out the brooch actually. 387. Maybe the scorpions will start fighting each other. You are now wearing a brooch that slows you down in combat without you realizing it. Reduce your skill by 1 point. Okay, so Don't do that. Okay. Skill -1. Okay. So my skill is now down to a measly 7. Finding nothing else of interest in the room, you decide to go back down the stairs and leave the house to head north. So no option of picking up the silver one as well there, but still a bit curious about that one. Maybe I'll check that out next time. Walking towards you down the street are 2 town guards. They stop in front of you and demand to see your papers. If you possess a merchant's pass, turn to 250. Oh, hang on. So maybe if in the beginning I'd said that I was there to sell booty, I would have been able to get a merchant's pass. That would have been so cool. Okay, so I need to... I'll definitely check out that one next time. So, merchant's pass, so 250... 255, okay, so I'll just put that up there. 255, merchants pass. Or, no. No pass. Okay, I might have to fight the guards then. Oh dear. You are unable to explain why you are in Port Blacksand, and the guards draw their swords, telling you that you are under arrest. You draw your sword and fight them one at a time. Now, what option is missing there? Shouldn't there also be an option for letting yourself be arrested? Why do I have to fight them? If somebody... You don't resist arrest, do you? You be taken to the dungeon and then you plan your cunning escape. It's much more fun. Anyway. One at a time, so... let's see. So that's a 7-4 and a 6-6. And let's see, and also plus bronze. I've got a bronze brooch as well. Okay. So guards 7-4 and 6-6, and I am currently at 7-12. And I really should have been eating some provisions by now. Anyway. Right. Yes. This could go actually really badly really quickly. And I haven't even finished my tea yet. Okay, so first guard rolls 4. I roll 2. Okay, so that's not a very auspicious beginning. First guard rolls a 3. I roll an 8, so he is down to 2 hit points. He rolls a 5. I roll a 7, so he is dead. Okay. Second guard rolls an 8. I roll a 7. That is a draw. He rolls a 5. I roll a 4. That is a draw. He rolls a 9. I roll a 4, so that is him hitting me. He rolls an 8. I roll a 6. That is me again. He rolls a 10. I roll a 9. That is a draw. He rolls a 2. That's good. And I roll a 6. So that is down to 4 hit points. Maybe I should use luck now. Because I'm close to dying. So just double check that the rules are still the same. Normally, when you use luck in battle, if you use it to prevent damage, you get 1 hit point back if you're successful. If you use it to add damage to your opponent, you add 2 more damage to him. Because if you're unlucky, of course, you take more damage if you use it to prevent damage, and you do less damage if you use it to increase damage. So yeah, it's the same. It's 2 points extra. Okay, so I'm going to do a test my luck. So I want to get my luck or lower on 2 dice, and I didn't. My luck goes down 1 point to 8, and instead of doing 2 points, now I do only 1 point of damage, and he's got 5 hit points left. Oh dear. Not my lucky day. Okay. Next round, he rolls an 8. I roll an 11. Okay. And So he's down to 3. Should I test my luck again? I will test my luck again, actually. So 8 or below. 9? That's not fair. Okay, now he's got 4 hit points left. I'm not as good at this as some other people I've seen videos playing Fighting Fantasy. I usually don't use luck in battle so much, but in this one it seemed like I needed to. Anyway, next round he rolls an 8, I roll a 6. He hits me, I'm down to 4 hit points. He rolls an 8, I roll 4. I'm down to 2 hit points. And I'll use luck to see if I can prevent one of those, because then I can more likely to survive the whole thing. If I do get extra damage done on me now, that wouldn't make a difference. So I'll use luck. I'm trying to get 7 or less. Yes. Okay. So he only did 1 damage, and I've got 3 left. He rolls a 9. I roll a 7. So that's my luck that saved me there. And then he rolls a 7, and I roll, I need 6 or higher. 7, okay. He's down to 2 hit points. He rolls a 7. I need to roll 6 or higher, or I'm dead. Oh, hang on. I could try to use luck to score extra damage on him now. Okay, I'll do that. That's a bit risky, though, because if I don't manage that, I need to hit him twice. Okay, I'll not use luck because it's 6. It's a bit risky. Okay, so he rolled 7. I need to roll 6 or higher. Yes. Whew. That was close. And I win, and I got to 285. I presume I can't use my potion until I've actually gone to 285. Okay, so I'm going to use my potion of stamina now. My stamina is back to 20. Right. You make a rapid search through the guard's possessions and find 7 gold pieces, a set of keys, and a piece of stale bread. Okay, so they've got some up to 11 gold pieces now. Let's see, set of keys and stale bread. I didn't realize, of course, I didn't make enough room for my inventory now, because I started doing my combat scores. I'll just do like that and put some room on the side there. Okay. It's not very often in these game book sessions I've had 1 hit point left. So that was quite an exciting battle. Right. Set up north again, go to 227. So we are... yes, this is the victory one, so 285. Just put that here somewhere, 285. That's win, so plus 7 gold, plus keys, plus bread. Okay. And then 227. Let's put that there. 227. The street soon makes another sharp turn to the right, and you find yourself walking east. Outside one of the houses to your left is a pile of rubbish and broken objects. On top of the pile is a pair of old boots that look about your size. If you wish to try them on, turn to 362. If you wish to keep walking east, turn to 103. Now, why would somebody throw away a perfectly good pair of boots unless there was something wrong with them? Now, if they were cursed, very often cursed items, you can't really take them off unless you get sort of some kind of blessing or something. So maybe they just accidentally got thrown there. Maybe they actually are rather good. I'll try them on. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Or, yeah. Or one man's blessing is another man's curse. We'll see. We'll find out. Okay, so keep walking is there we are. We'll keep walking east 103, or try on boots 362 boots. I'm trying the boots. The boots fit perfectly, and walking about you feel very sure-footed. They are magic elven boots. Add 1 skill point to your total and set off east again. Okay, I needed that. So my skill is now up to 8 again. So that is boots plus 1 skill. Oh joy. Okay, so and now I'm going to 103. You arrive at a 4-way junction in the street. The street continuing east changes its name to Clock Street, and the street running north and south is called Market Street. Okay, so it looks like a sort of a this sort of shape with the one street going in the middle. Looking north, you see a crowd of people walking up the street, cheering loudly and waving their arms in the air. You decide to follow them. Turn to 148. Okay, so we are going that way. That means that, I suppose in the beginning now, that means you actually have 3 routes you can choose. You can choose to go left, so you're going on, what was this called again? Key Street, Market Street, and Clock Street. So there's Key Street, you choose Key Street, Market Street, or Lock Street. And those 3 seem to be separate paths that don't cross over each other in the beginning. So one of those 3 paths is probably the best ideal way to go. And I don't really feel that this is probably the correct path. This one here, I mean, it has some hazards. You do get the skeleton keys, but I'll definitely try one of the other ones next time, just to see what happens there. And then they all meet at the choke point up here at 103. 148 might be the choke point for the adventure. Now let's see what's going on here. As you catch up with the chanting crowd, you see that they are carrying eggs and rotten tomatoes. Soon the street opens out into a large market square. All round the edge are stalls with vendors, hawkers, musicians, and entertainers carrying on their business. In the middle of the square is an elevated pillory. Above the noise of the crowd, a trumpet sounds, and the crowd start to pelt the man in the pillory with rotten food. An old woman standing next to you offers you 2 eggs to throw. Not wishing to appear to be an outsider, you take the eggs and hurl them, but as you do so, the old woman picks your pocket without your noticing. Lose 1 gold piece or any 1 item you may have. And aware of your loss, you walk away from the crowd to look at the various stalls. Okay. Actually, this is the first time I noticed a real typo in one of these books. So I'll just make a note on that. 148 typo. Okay. Because to be consistent, they would have had to say without your noticing, not without you noticing. So, because that's the style they've been using so far. Anyway, 287. Okay. And minus 1 gold, which I do have. Or I suppose if I didn't have any gold now, this would have been meant I would have lost something else. I've got 10 gold left, so that's a nice round number. So 287. So let's see, minus 1 gold, and I'm going to 287. Okay. The food stalls are selling fruit, vegetables, meat, and hot soup, corn and chestnuts for hungry shoppers. You may eat some hot food if you wish. Pay 1 gold piece and increase your stamina by 2 points. My stamina is at full, thank you very much. Walking north along the west side of the square, you see a man dressed in purple velvet playing a lyre. If you wish to stop and listen, turn to 3. If you would rather walk past him, turn to 398. Now, I will have a little listen to the man playing the lyre. 3 lyre, 398. Walk past. The man stops playing and tells you that he can bring you good fortune. For the sum of 3 gold pieces, he will sing you a song that will bring luck. It will bring you luck. If you wish to pay the musician, turn to 37. If you do not believe him, you may walk to the next stall. Oh, so there's also stalls. So that means I sort of need my gold now for... So gold is very important in this one, I guess. So anyway, I will... Oh, that means in the beginning when you say that you're there to sell booty and you get a merchant's license, you probably have to pay quite a bit for that as well. But it would mean that you wouldn't have to fight the guards, because then you would have permission to be in the city. So that might be the best way to go in the beginning. Anyway, I'm thinking ahead now for my next playthrough. I'm sort of assuming I won't make it now, aren't I? So I'm going to pay the musician 3 gold pieces. I already deducted them from my character sheet, and I'm going to go to 37 because if it does bring me luck, I need some luck. I'm down on my luck, literally now. The man strums his lyre and sings a merry song all about you and your good fortune. He does have the power to make you lucky. Add 2 luck points and walk on to the next stall. So my luck is back up to 8. Not quite full, but that is better. So I'm now currently at skill 8, stamina 20, and luck 8. Not too shabby. Yes, I forgot to put the 37 there and 398. Okay, so that's plus minus 3 gold and plus 2 luck. Seems like a fair exchange of goods to me. So a small circle of people is standing around a bare-chested man. He is enormous and his muscles look as hard as iron. He is asking the crowd for a volunteer to play catch with a cannonball. He states that whoever drops the cannonball must pay the other 5 gold pieces. If you wish to take him on at his game, turn to 378. If you would rather walk on, turn to 52. Okay, so this is if you've got really good skill, I suppose. Or cannonball, I mean, this is going to be skill or stamina? Probably going to be skill, so, and maybe even luck. I'm not going to do that, so I am going to move on. So let's see. 3, 7, 8, cannonball, catch. But I'm going to move on now and go to 52. Behind the next stall is a young man selling small weapons and items of equipment. The prices of his wares are chalked up on a slate. Throwing knife, 4 gold pieces. Climbing rope, 2 gold pieces. Butcher's meat hook, 2 gold pieces. Iron spike, 1 gold piece. And lantern, 3 gold pieces. If you wish to buy some or all of the items, make the necessary adjustments on your adventure sheet. You then walk north. Okay, so I've got 7 gold with which to buy stuff. And typically in an Ian Livingstone book, some of these items are going to be essential for getting to your final destination and winning the game. So I don't know which one it is. Butcher's meat. Okay, it's a bit sort of unusual. A bit unusual of an item. Iron spike. I don't usually need the iron spikes when I find them in the... I've found iron spikes in other game books before. They never seem to have a function. Climbing rope seems very obvious. That's something that you might need. Lantern, well, if it gets dark and you can't see, that's a bad thing. I'm going to get the throwing knife, the climbing rope, and... Or should I get the... I'm not going to be very good at using the throwing knife anyway because my skill is that low. I'm going to get the climbing rope, the lantern, and the meat hook. That's 7 gold. That's my rest of my gold. I'm a bit curious if so. So lantern, hook, and climbing rope. And hopefully nobody steals something from me now. Anyway, well, if they do, I'll let them steal stale bread. Right. You then walk north. Okay, so let's see. I'll just say shop. And I'm going north again. I'm going to 200. I'll just leave a bit of space around here. Actually, I think that's probably a good idea for future mapping. Okay. But I presume that all the paths that you might take in the beginning, they will converge and you all go through that market bit regardless of where you came from. This is actually quite a narrow part of the map here. In the next stall area, there is a small brightly colored tent. Attached to it is a small sign which reads Madame Star, Clairvoyant. If you wish to enter the tent, turn to 394. If you would rather continue north, turn to 117. Yeah, I don't believe in clairvoyance so much. Clairvoyant. Well, I do believe that there is such a thing as being able to sense things that it's not obvious how you know, but usually if somebody advertises themselves as being a clairvoyant, they are just quacks generally. So I might believe in some kind of clairvoyancy, but not in clairvoyance. That, or certainly the ones who claim to be. Anyway, so 117. I'm going to keep going north. I'm just going to skip the clairvoyant for now. Maybe I'll check her out next time. I wouldn't have anything to pay her with anyway. And of course, it would be typical, wouldn't it? You go in there and she starts telling you your fortune before you get a chance to pay, and then she gets really irate when you can't. At the end of the market, a street named Bridge Street runs north out of the square. You decide to walk down it in the hope of finding the elusive Nicodemus. It starts to rain, and the tumble-down houses huddled together on either side of the street look as if they need shelter themselves. Most have their windows boarded up and are empty. The door to one flaps noisily in the wind. If you wish to take refuge in the derelict house until the rain stops, turn to 188. If you'd rather press on ahead, turn to 31. So we have take refuge in the house, 188, or move on 31. So 188 or 31. I'm going to seek refuge in the house. I'm a bit curious. There might be other stuff there. There might be some bad stuff there, of course. It is gloomy in the house, but you can make out the shapes of abandoned furniture. Litter and rubble is strewn all over the floor. You find a broken chair and slump down in it to rest. Suddenly you notice something slither across the floor, and before you can get to your feet, you see in the half-light that you are encircled by 6 snakes, each a meter long. If you wish to hack at them with your sword, turn to 253. If you would rather make a dash for the door, turn to 15. For some reason, it sounds safer to hack at them with a sword than trying to run past them or over them to get to the door. So I'm going to so 15 dash for the door, and so snakes. So 253 attack. So I'm going to attack the snakes and see what happens. The snakes are not very tough opponents for a person trained in the art of swordsmanship. Treat them as a single creature. However, each attack round that they inflict a wound on you, 4 points must be subtracted from your stamina score because of their poisonous bite. So that's snake skill 5, stamina 5. So that's not too bad. If you win, you may leave the house by the front door, turn to 75. Okay, so I do notice that's a different paragraph than the other one. Let's see, door. That's a win. Okay, so 5, 5. That's not, doesn't sound too bad. Okay, 5, 5, and I've got 8, 20. Right, so the battle begins, and the snakes roll 7, and I roll 10, so they are down to 3 hit points. They roll 2 snake eyes. Why not? Okay, and I got 1, and they roll 12. And I roll a 9. Okay, so that is 16 because I go down 4 hit points. They rolled an 8 and I rolled a 9, and so they are dead. And I win and I go to 75. Okay, so. Outside the rain has stopped and you set off north again. Turn to 31. So we have. Which means that there doesn't seem to be any point doing that at all. I'll just put a red square there, even though that's. And then I am going to start page 2. Sorry, I think I bumped into my microphone there. And 31. Right. Ahead you see a wooden bridge. This is why it's called Bridge Street, I suppose. Stretching over a dirty river. Various bits of rubbish are floating down to the sea on its black surface, and you squirm at the sight of a human hand passing by. The bridge supports and columns reach high above, and you see skulls, both human and non-human, tied to them. The wind makes an eerie noise as it whistles through the bridge structures, reminding you of tortured souls crying out for help. Almost hidden from view is a small flight of steps going down underneath the bridge from where you are standing. A one-legged man carrying a sack is crossing the bridge from the northern bank. If you wish to climb down the steps, turn to 329. If you wish to wait to talk to the man, turn to 364. So, okay, so bridge. Bridge. I am going either. Okay, so I'll just do one there and one there. 329 steps. 364. Wait. I'll wait and talk to the man, actually. I'm a bit curious. Again, 364. The gaunt-faced man looks thoroughly miserable. He sees you and shrinks back, telling you that it is not worth robbing him because he has no money. You tell him that you do not wish to rob him, but are seeking an old wizard named Nicodemus. He stares at you with a surprised expression on his face and says, "For 2 gold pieces, I'll tell you where he is." I don't have any gold pieces left. You decide to trust the man and pay him for his information. He pockets the gold and says, "Oh, hang on." Okay, so this is actually a typo again. Typo. Might not have gold. I suppose I gave him bread instead or something. Stale bread. He pockets the gold and says you are standing on top of him. Nicodemus lives in a hut underneath this bridge. He throws back his head and lets out a shrill laugh before hobbling off on his crutches, obviously pleased with himself. You shake your head and walk over to the steps that lead down beneath the bridge. Turn to 329. Okay, so well, I'm feeling rather pleased with myself because, well, I can't give him any gold anyway, so yeah. Anyway, typo. Continuity error, I suppose. Oh yeah, I've seen this picture before. That's quite a nice one again there. Okay, there we are. The smell by the water's edge is terrible. Above, you hear the sound of footsteps crossing the wooden bridge. Built into the foundations of the bridge is a wooden hut. Drawn curtains obstruct your view into the hut, but you know you are not welcome when you read the words "Keep Out" painted on the door in large red letters. You draw in a deep breath and knock on the door. You hear muttering and the shuffling of feet, and suddenly the door is thrown open. Before you stands a white-haired old man with a long beard wearing long white robes. He looks at you sternly and says, "Explain yourself to Nicodemus." You are elated at finding Nicodemus and tell him about Zanbar Bone's reign of terror in the town of Silverton and why Owen Caroliff asks you to find his old friend to help them. Nicodemus frowns and walks back inside his hut, telling you to follow him. He sits down in a rocking chair and starts to speak in a calm voice. I am old and tired and wish for no more adventure. I'm not going to do the voices. I live here under Singing Bridge in Port Blacksand to escape the pleas for aid from people fallen on hard times. Hence, no one bothers me, but I do wish to help my old friend Owen. I will tell you how to defeat the Night Prince, Zanbar Bone. Listen carefully. Remember, you may defeat him only after sunset. No doubt he will have his servants to protect him, but should you get past them, you will need something special to deal with Bone himself. To protect yourself from his entrancing stare, you must have a white unicorn in a yellow sun tattooed on your forehead. Okay, well, that's quite a big ask, isn't it, for someone in my position and with my sort of standing and reputation to have a white unicorn in a yellow sun tattooed on my forehead. Normal weapons will not harm him. First, you must shoot him through the heart with a silver arrow. This will paralyze him but not kill him. Then you must quickly rub the ground compound of black pearl, hag's hair, and the lotus flower in his open eyes. With luck, he will decay before you in seconds. If your arrow misses, I'm afraid you will die the moment he touches you. The items for the compound can all be found in Port Blacksand if you search hard enough. I regret I cannot accompany you. Nicodemus then draws you a map of how to reach Zanbar Bone's guarded tower from Port Blacksand. He stands up, shakes your hand, and wishes you well. You leave his hut, climb the steps, and cross the bridge over Catfish River. Bridge Street continues north a short distance before ending at a junction. If you wish to walk west down Harbour Street, turn to 91. If you wish to turn east down Candle Street, turn to 238. Okay, so the things I need. So my shopping list. Got a shopping list. Tattoo. Yellow sun. So unicorn, white unicorn. Yellow sun. Silver arrow. So black pearl, hag's hair, lotus flower. Okay. That sounds like quite a long shopping list. How am I going to get enough gold for this sort of thing? Anyway. Also, I should be able to sell... I should have been... My brooches, that's another thing that's a bit inconsistent. Ooh. Sorry, hit my foot there. Inconsistent in these fighting fantasy books. Sometimes valuable items are listed as having a gold piece value. But the ones I've found so far, the gold and bronze scorpion brooch, they have not been given a gold piece value. So it would have made sense to sell them, actually. Especially considering how they're magic as well. Well, one is a curse, but the other one is a positive magic item. Anyway. I then have to... So this is, of course, the very important there. Circle that in blue. So now I'll either go east, which is 91. East on Candle Street. Or I go west on Harbour Street. Okay, and that is 90... Hang on, I've wrote them down. 91, 238. 91, West Harbour Street. I'm going to go east to... No, hang on. I still think that my path in the beginning wasn't the correct one, and that was west. So maybe this time west is correct. I'm going to go west down Harbour Street. So I'm going to go to 91. You pass a beggar in the street. He's sitting in the gutter and holds an empty tin in his hand. If you wish to toss a gold piece into his tin, turn to 332. If you would rather walk past him, turn to 124. The way this is worded, it might sort of say that, I wish to, but sorry, I can't. No, I'm not going to pretend that I have a gold piece this time. So I'm going to walk past him because I don't have another option. So he is. I'm going to go past him because I have to. 124 and 332, 332. There you go. 124. A narrow alleyway runs south of the street between two houses. If you wish to walk down the alleyway, turn to 326. If you would rather continue along Harbour Street, turn to 180. So we have 180 or 326 alleyway. Of course, I'm going to go into the alleyway. Yeah, okay. Ahead, the alleyway is strewn with rubbish and discarded possessions. Suddenly, you hear growling and you see movement amongst the rubbish. You draw your sword just in time as two wild dogs, each 1.5 meters long, leap at you. Fight both dogs at the same time. Why would they be strewn with rubbish and discarded possessions? Because this is a really deprived area, and if there's one thing that is true of places like that, is that people actually keep items because there's always some use for something. So even if it's just a part of it, so there wouldn't actually be that much rubbish in a city like this. I think it's one of those things that people don't realize if they've never been to a place like that. The poorer people are, the more sort of inventive they become with what they can do with stuff and the kind of stuff they can clean up and try to sell. So you wouldn't have discarded possessions lying anywhere except in the market, where they've been spruced up a little bit and trying to so they're trying to hawk them off as useful. Anyway, suddenly you hear growling and you see movement amongst rubbish. You draw your sword just in time as two wild dogs, each 1.5 meters long, leap at you. 1.5 meters? That is really big. Fight both dogs at the same time. That is really, really big, actually. I mean, that's not wild dog size at all. I mean, that's absolutely massive. Okay. Anyway, for their size, they don't have much skill and stamina. They only got 4, 4, and 4, 3. Okay. 4, 4, 4, 3. I'm currently on 820. And am I on 820? Oh, did I? No, actually, I'm supposed to be on 16 now. 816. This is 16. There we are. And I shall perform the combat. Okay, so first dog, this is one at a time, yes. Oh, hang on. Both dogs at the same time. Okay. Both dogs will make a separate attack on you in each attack round, but you must choose which of the two you will fight. Okay, so normally if they got different skills, I often pick the one with the highest skill to fight first. Not the case this time. I'll just do them in order. I'll do the 4-4 first. So I roll for like 2 battles now, but I can only injure one of them. So first dog rolls a 7. I roll a 7, so that is me injuring it. Second dog rolls 8. I roll 9, so that is I can't injure it because I'm not actually trying to at the moment. I'm just trying to fend it off. First dog rolls 6. I roll 10, so that's the first dog dead. Second dog rolls 7. I roll 2, and that means it actually injures me. And then I'm actually just fighting one dog. He rolls a 4. I roll a 10. He's down to 1 hit point, and he rolls a 7. I roll a 5, and that is down. He's down to 0, and he is dead. Both dogs see blah 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 blah. If you win, turn to 184. You may escape by running back up the alleyway and turning west. So escape is possible, but not something I want to do. Escape and win 184. Let's put in 184. Win. Do you have any of Mrs. Pipe's golden flowers? If you do, turn to 55. If not, turn to 308. That's an unusual win paragraph, isn't it? Is this the correct one? Let's just have a look again. Yeah. 184. Yeah. Okay, so flowers, question mark. So 355, yes, or 308. No, so this is one of the shops that were on some of the other streets, presumably, that I could get flowers. I'm going to 308 because I don't have any flowers. And there is nothing to be found in the alleyway, so you return to Harbour Street and turn left. Okay, so, well, maybe there is something to be found there, but I can't see it because I don't have the flowers. Interesting. Okay. Turn to 180. Ahead, you hear the noisy clatter of galloping hooves on the cobblestones. You hear the noise of wooden wheels and an urging voice, followed by the crack of a whip. Someone is rapidly approaching in a horse-drawn carriage. If you wish to see who it is, turn to 344. If you'd rather hide out of sight behind a barrel and watch the carriage pass by, turn to 34. So either I can wait, or I can hide. Why would I hide anyway? 34. Hide. 344. Wait. I'm going to wait and see who it is and let them see me, I suppose, as well. Well, that's quite a good picture again there. Very nice artwork. You step out into the middle of the street and wait. Suddenly, a pair of horses come galloping into view, pulling an ornate gold carriage. The driver sees you and, cracking his whip, yells, "Make way for Lord Azar." If you wish to step out of the path of the oncoming carriage, turn to 58. If you wish to stay where you are, turn to 252. This is the guy that I was supposed not to be caught out without a permit in the street, wasn't it? So my options are either to, let's see, step out, so 58, step out, or 252, stay. I'm a bit curious what happens if I stay where I am, actually. It's not going to go well, but I just really need to know. The carriage is not going to stop. Suddenly, the four horses, their eyes wide with terror, are almost on top of you. You must dive to one side to avoid being run down. Test your luck. Okay, so testing my luck, rolling against 8. And I rolled a 6. And my luck goes down to 7, and I was successful. So let's see, test luck. So luck. Yeah, if you're lucky, you escape injury from the horses as you land in the gutter. Turn to 275. Excuse me. 275. If you're unlucky, you are trampled underfoot by one of the horses. Turn to 155. So 155, unlucky, 275, lucky. Not a good idea then. You stand up and brush yourself down, thinking that you would like to meet this Lord Azar another day. The carriage races out of view and you set off west again. Turn to 171. So there we are. 171 west. Okay. I'm sure we will meet him again in that case. Okay. The street gradually starts to run downhill. Houses end at a tavern called the Black Lobster, and the street opens out onto a quayside. A stone jetty runs out to sea, and tied to it is an old galleon. It is flying the Skull and Crossbones and is probably one of the many pirate ships that anchor in Port Blacksand to offload their booty. Harbour Street turns right at the jetty and runs north parallel to the shore as far as you can see. If you wish to walk down the jetty to climb on board the ship, turn to 399. If you wish to walk north of Harbour Street, turn to 78. So we have the option of going down the street or up the street, so that's north, or 399 ship. So another nice illustration there. And obviously, I want to go into the pirate ship, don't I? Well, who doesn't want to go onto the pirate ship? Let's see. Just remember I'm not drinking enough water now. Our battery is still showing full on my sound recorder. Amazing. $3.99. There we are. Let's see. A rope ladder hangs down from the stern of the ship to the jetty. There is also a gangplank leading up the side of the ship. If you wish to board the ship by climbing the rope ladder, turn to 87. If you wish to walk straight up the gangplank, turn to 294. Right, so I'll just do like that, and when I get to the this bit here, I'll just need to rejig my map a bit. So 87 rope or 294 gangplank. Now, I suppose if I walk up the gangplank, I look like I know what I'm doing. If I get up the rope ladder, then I might be able to get aboard without being noticed. But if somebody notices me, they definitely know I'm up to no good. But I'm going to go with a rope ladder. I'm going to go with a rope ladder this time. So I'm not going to boldly go across the gangplank. There we go. You reach the top of the ladder and peer over the handrail to survey the ship's deck. There are two large masts rising into the air from the deck. Well, duh, it's a sail ship. Of course there are two large masts rising up into the air from the deck. Where else would they rise? Would they rise into the ground from the deck? Shouldn't it just say rising from the deck? Anyway, it's a bit of sort of bizarre sort of stating the bleeding obvious thing, isn't it? Wooden boxes, barrels, and coils of rope lie all around, and one of the ship's crew stands on guard at the top of the gangplank. Of course, I would have bumped into him if I went the other way. In the center of the deck, there is a small cabin with an open door. Through the door, you see stairs leading down to the lower decks. If you wish to inspect any of the wooden boxes and barrels, you will have to deal with a pirate on guard. Turn to 120. If you wish to creep along the deck to the stairs, turn to 50. So I've got 120 or 50. Now, so that's guard, or creep. Well, I'm thinking one guard all by himself. Is he all by himself? I can take him. Surely. But before I do, I'm going to eat a provision. I'm not in battle. I'm going to eat one meal and take my stamina back up to 18. So it's down to 14 before. There we are. So I'm going to deal with a pirate on guard, and I go to 120. You pick up a piece of wood and run as quietly as possible over to the pirate to try to knock him unconscious. Test your luck. Well, I wasn't really hoping to test my luck now. I was hoping to save that a bit. So I'm rolling against 7. I roll 8, so I'm down to 6, and I was unlucky. So that's I'll just put this as a test luck, and If you're lucky, blah, 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 blah. And you go to 84, so 84 is lucky. And 152 is unlucky. Which probably only means I have to fight him, which is what I was expecting anyway. The pirate draws his cutlass. As he approaches, his toothless grin unnerves you a little. That is real stereotyping of pirates, isn't it? Toothless, cutlass. Yeah. Anyway, you do not have time to draw your sword and must fight the pirate with a wooden stick. Why am I getting a wooden stick to hit a pirate on the head when I could have taken my sword and sort of stabbed him through the heart? Well, suddenly doing strange things. During each attack run, you must deduct 2 points from your attack strength. So he is so 7, 5, that's him. And I am then, of course, for this purpose of this battle, I'm 6, 18. So my effective skill is 6 instead of 8 because I'm fighting with a wooden stick because I'm being stupid. And if I win, I'm going to 20. Win. Okay. So pirate rolls 6. I roll 10, so I hit him first with my wooden stick. He rolls a 6. I roll a 10, so I hit him again with a wooden stick. And he rolls a 7. I roll an 8. That's a draw. He rolls a 6. I roll a 3, so he hits me with his cutlass. He rolls a 5. I roll a 7, and he is dead. So 20. The pirate's pockets contain nothing apart from a piece of stale bread. You leave him to start a search of the wooden boxes and barrels on the ship's decks. So I've got now 2 pieces of stale bread. I'm keeping those. Although usually you don't need it for anything in these books, do you? And then I'll start searching the boxes. So 84. The barrels all contain rotten fruit, and the boxes contain manacles and leg irons. Perhaps this is a slave trading ship. There is nothing else of interest to you on deck. If you wish to walk over to the deck cabin to climb down the stairs to the lower decks, turn to 50. If you'd rather leave the ship, walk back along the jetty, turn left and walk north of up Harbour Street, turn to 78. So I'm given the option of going all the way back to 78 or going down to 50. Okay. So I'm going to go 50 in that case, just to see if there's anything more interesting below deck. The stairs lead down into the ship's cargo hold. It is empty. Opposite you, a corridor leads from the hold to 2 closed doors. You walk along the corridor and listen at the doors. From the door on the left, you hear loud snoring. From the door on your right, you hear nothing. If you wish to open the door, there's a lot of door in this paragraph. If you wish to open the door on the left, turn to 271. If you wish to open the door on the right, turn to 232. Okay, so on the left you hear snoring, and the other one you hear nothing. Okay, I'll move up here, I suppose, for these ones, like so. I'm going to do like so. 271 left, and 232 right. Okay. On the left there was snoring. I'm going to take out the snoring one first. Usually I don't do that, but I'll just take the snoring one. There's another pretty picture now. Asleep in their bunks are 3 pirates. Their room is small and contains only clothing and a few personal possessions. It looks as if the pirates have been drinking and gambling. More stereotyping. Yeah. There is an uncorked bottle of rum, even more stereotyping, a mug and a pack of cards on top of a barrel in the center of the room. You see that one of the pirates is wearing a small leather pouch around his neck. If you wish to creep up and try to cut it loose, there's a pouch, you can see it there actually. Turn to 162. If you'd rather close the door again and not take any risk, turn to 284. Okay, so I'm going to check out that pouch, 162. even though that might mean I'm testing luck again, which is something I'm not going to be very good at now. So close door, pouch. I'm going to go for the pouch. Test your luck. Okay. And we've got lucky, unlucky. And let's see if you're lucky, 7, unlucky 2 to 6. And I'm rolling against 6 now, so that's not very good. So 6 or lower. Nope. My luck goes down to 5, which is disastrously low. If you're unlucky, the man's eyes flick open as you try to cut the cord and he grabs hold of your arm while calling out to his mates for help. Turn to 226. You manage to break free from the pirate's grip and draw your sword. You step backwards towards the door as the pirates leap from their bunks to grab their cutlasses. The room is cramped and you fight them one at a time. Okay. So we've got 6, 6, 5, 4, 7, 4. And I've got 8 and 16 is my stamina. And let's see, if you win to 111, so win is 111. You may escape by backing out through the door and fleeing, and going all the way out of the ship, actually, going all the way to 78. I'm thinking maybe the 78 should be up here somewhere. I'm going to move 78 on my map up here. 78, like so, and so I'm going to do 78 there. 78 and 78, like so. Okay. Right. Let's see how this goes. Escape might be a good option this time. Using luck is definitely not a good option. Right, first pirate versus me. So first pirate rolls 5. I roll a 5. So that is me hitting him. It's down to 4 hit points. And 6 versus 4. That's a draw. 6 versus 9. That's me hitting him again. 9 versus 12. So he is dead. Second pirate rolls 9. He's got 5 skill. I rolled a 4. So that's him hitting me. He rolls a 3. I rolled a 6. He's got 2 hit points left. He rolls a 7. I roll a 4. That is a draw. He rolls a 6. I roll a 9. He is dead. Last pirate's got a skill of 7. He rolls a 6. I roll an 11. He's down to 2 hit points. He rolls a 3. I roll a 7, and he is dead. Okay. That wasn't so hard. And I win, and I go to 111. You cut the pouch from around the pirate's neck and open it. Inside you find 6 black pearls. Okay, so black pearl. Right, so this might be the only place to get a black pearl, which means this is a place you have to go in order to win the game. So I'm marking that in blue. Add 2 luck points. I needed that. So up to 7. You leave the room with your valuable treasure. Outside in the corridor, you may either open the other door if you have not done so already, or leave the ship. So I'm going to go to, let's see, 2, 3, 2, or 278. So that's my two options there. I'm going to open the other door as well. The door opens into a small room, in the center of which stands a steaming tub of hot water. If you wish to hide behind the door inside the room to see who is about to take a bath, turn to 12. If you would rather close the door, turn to 383. So, either wait and see who's having a bath, that's 12, or close the door, 383. Close. Wait. I'm going to wait and see who's going to have a bath. Maybe I can get something else useful out of this encounter as well. After a few minutes, you hear footsteps coming down the corridor. The door opens and the man walks into the room wearing nothing but a towel around his fat stomach. You watch as he drops the towel and lowers himself gently into the tub with a loud sigh. If you wish to surprise him by drawing your sword and uttering a loud ahem, turn to 176. If you would rather creep out of the room back into the corridor while he submerges himself, turn to 383. So, 176. There we go. So I'm going to so 383. Yes, have a look and see what happens. Oh, hang on. Not 383. 176. I went to the wrong paragraph there. 176. You tell the worried bather that despite your hatred for pirates, you will not harm him if he cooperates with you. You ask him if he has any of the items that you are searching for, but he replies that as captain of a pirate ship, he does not need such things. You press the blade of your sword against his fat neck to make sure he is not lying. He looks terrified and assures you that he is telling the truth. Then he says, but I do know where you can get a silver arrow. Ben Borriman, the silversmith, will make anything in silver at a price. You will find him in Clog Street. So, so a silver arrow, Clog Street. Okay, that's it. So making a mental note of the information, you leave the shivering captain alone in his room, locking the door behind you. Outside in the corridor, you may either open the other door if you have not done so already. So that goes back then to 271. Or leave the ship and continue your search of Port Blacksand by walking north up Harbour Street, turn to 78. Okay, so that is, let's put that clue on my thing there. The street runs north along the quayside for a few hundred meters before arriving at a junction. If you wish to continue north up Harbour Street, turn to 256. So 256, North Harbour. If you wish to walk east along Clog Street, turn to 216. So that is 216, East Clog. Of course, now I'm going to go on Clog Street because I want to find out how much it costs to have a silver arrow made. Now, of course, I don't have any gold yet. Well, at the moment, I don't have any gold. But, of course, I need to know for future reference how much it would cost me to get that made. And I have to figure out how to get enough gold. Clog Street is very narrow and lined with terraced cottages and the occasional shop. To your left, you see what looks like a small boy lying face down on the cobblestones, groaning loudly. A hood is pulled over his head and you cannot see his face. So maybe it isn't a small boy then. A wooden hoop and stick lie by his side. If you wish to stop to help, turn to 72. If you would rather walk on, turn to 317. So I am going to walk on 317. Walk on. I'm going to stop and help. Because this is sort of an exploratory playthrough anyway. I'm trying to figure out what to do. So any of those little side encounters is, yeah, it wasn't a boy after all. I was right. As you bend down to help the injured boy, he suddenly rolls over and you see the flashing blade of a dagger before your eyes. The boy is in fact a goblin thief, and you must fight him for your life. Or he must fight me for his, I think, because he's not that good a fighter, is he? So I've got 814. He has 5, 4. So he rolls 8. I roll 5. That is a draw. He rolls 7. I roll 8. So he is down to 2 hit points. He rolls 4. I roll 10, and he is dead. Stupid little goblin. Right. So, I haven't really made a proper note of some of the battles now, but this is a goblin 5, 4, and win 208. Win. I'm going to 208. The goblin's pockets contain 2 gold pieces, a clove of garlic, and some old knuckle bones. So I've got 2 gold pieces now. Probably not enough for a silver arrow, but clove of garlic. That would be good if I meet the traditional. There's always a vampire in Livingstone's books, aren't there? Clove of garlic, knuckle bones. Take what you wish and head east again along Clog Street to turn to 317. So I'm going to go east 317, like so. One of the shops to your left is a candle maker's. There are many different colored candles burning brightly in the window. Let's see, is there anything I might need in the candle makers? No, not really, no. If you wish to enter the shop, turn to 241. Well, I'll enter anyway because I'm trying to so continue east is 280. So east, just to have a look at the shop and see if there's anything interesting that might turn up later as an item that I need, because this is how it works, isn't it? You get the references to the items when you need them, and then you realize that you have no idea where to find it. It's useful to know where it is when you bump into it, so and when you get the option. 241 candle makers. Candle maker. Okay. Inside the shop you see a tall, thin man with pointed ears and fair hair, pouring hot wax from an iron pan into a mold. The candle maker is an elf. As he turns to you to speak, you notice his slanted eyes, which are ice blue. For some reason, they appear very cold to you. Well, ice blue, cold. He tells you that all his colored candles cost 1 gold piece each. You may buy as many as you wish. So, candles 1 GP. That's not legible at all. Well, it will do. You may buy as many as you wish. He then asked if you would like to see one of his magic candles in the back room. If you wish to see one, turn to 63. If you would rather leave the shop and head east, turn to 280. So, magic candles. Okay, I don't have a good feeling about following him into the back room to check out his magic candles. That actually sounds very dodgy. Would you like to come into the back room to look at my magic candle? Yes. I'll have a look at it anyway. Let's see. 63, I'll go into the back room and see what he has to offer, or if it's a trap. The elf leads you into a room lit by purple candles, which give a strange glow. You stand and stare blankly at the candles and drift off into a world of vivid dreams. While you are in this trance, the elf takes 2 items and 5 gold pieces from your backpack, if you have them. Yeah, okay, so do not go into the back room. Okay, 63. So minus 5 gold, minus 2 items. Okay, so he took the stale bread times 2 then, in that case. When you awake, he doesn't say I have to pick it randomly. When you awake, you have no recollection of the theft and leave the shop, thanking the elf for showing you his beautiful candles. Outside, you head east again, turn to 280. Okay. Oh well, I can't blame him, I suppose. Further along the street on the left is another shop. A sign outside reads Ben Borriman, silversmith. If you wish to enter the shop, turn to 213. This is the one I am looking for. So we have 213 silver smith. If you'd rather keep going east, turn to 100. So 100 is going further east again. So I'm going to go into the shop now. And, oh yeah, I forgot to cross off. So I used to have 2 gold a few moments ago. Now I've got 0 again. A man wearing a white apron is sitting at a bench, busily polishing a silver goblet. There are several silver objects in a glass cupboard secured by an iron grill at the back of the shop. You may talk to the silversmith, attack him with your sword, or leave the shop and continue east. Well, since I don't have any money, I could attack him and see if I could get a silver arrow that way. It's a bit sort of desperate, and but I'm an opportunist, aren't I? I mean, I'm a yeah. Leave my soul on the way there as well. Maybe I should start by talking to him. So anyway, so I could leave, which is 100. And then there is attack, 1, 3, 5, attack. And talk, 248. I don't know, I always talk, don't I? Maybe this is the time for talking. Talking is over, and I'm so desperate to get a silver arrow. Maybe I should see if I can get one by attacking him, even though it doesn't really feel right to do it. I'm going to go and do something different now, and I'm going to attack him and see if. When you draw your sword, the man cries out and runs into a back room. You follow him into the room. He is apparently unarmed, but is holding an egg and a small key in his hands. He warns you that the egg contains a deadly gas and he will throw it at you. He also threatens to swallow the key to his silver cupboard. You still wish to attack him, turn to 229. Wish to run out of the shop and go further up Clog Street, turn to 100. Interesting choice. And also, if he swallows the key, I can still cut it out of him, so I don't see why that's a problem. So I am given the option then of going to 100 or 229. I'll still attack him then. As you advance towards him, the man swallows the key and throws the egg at you. Test your luck. Luck is 7. I rolled a 10. Not lucky. If you're lucky, the egg misses and breaks against a wall to release the green-colored gas. Turn to 23. So 23 is lucky. And 343 unlucky. If you're unlucky, the egg breaks against your chest and you breathe in some of the green-colored gas released. So 343. Oh, another typo actually there. It says here, the page here, it says 342 to 243. Okay, so typo on the 342 to 243 page number. Okay. You fall to the floor unconscious. Lose 3 stamina points. So I'm down to 11 actually. 11. If you're still alive, you awake to find yourself lying outside the shop in Clog Street. You will find that any silver items you had are now missing. Okay, so unlucky, so minus silver, and then you are taken to 100. You stand up and set off angrily along the street. Well, I suppose I can't really be angry because it was sort of my fault. I didn't have any silver items though, did I? Nope, no silver items. So no silver arrows this time, and I don't even know what they cost now because I was being foolish. That'll teach me. Okay, you soon arrive at a junction. Talk first, draw sword later. You soon arrive at a junction. If you wish to turn north to Tower Street, turn to 127. If you wish to continue east into Stable Street, turn to 246. So I'm going either, let's see, north or east. Okay, so let's do it over there. North 127 Power Street north and 246 east into Stable Street. So I'm going to go east into Stable Street, I think. Hang on, before I do that, I'm going to eat another provision. And, well, in fact, I'll just eat 2. I know you're supposed to sort of eat 1 at a time, really, but I can sort of wait here for a long time, so I'll eat 2. 246. As you walk warily down the narrow cobbled street, you are suddenly confronted by a little old man who dashes out of one of the houses. He pulls a dirty bottle out of a canvas bag. As he speaks, you can't help staring at the large wart on his nose with its tuft of hair. He smiles and asks if you would like to pay 2 gold pieces for a drink of his wonderful healing potion. Well, I'm just healed myself, so... If you wish to pay for a drink, turn to 98. If you'd rather keep going east, turn to 363. So 98 healing, although that doesn't sound very promising. It doesn't look very healthy himself. 2 gold, or going east is 363. In the middle of the street, you see a large manhole cover. If you wish to lift the manhole cover to see where it leads to, turn to 48. If you wish to keep walking east, turn to 205. A bit strange to have a manhole cover in the middle of the street. You'd think that if there was something going on underground, that the entrance would be inside a building somewhere. It's not like you have public services or anything like that that needs maintenance, do they? Like sewers and things? In a place like this? Absolutely not. Okay. East 205, or let's move it down here now. 48 manhole. I'm going to check out the manhole actually and see where that goes. 48. There is an iron ladder secured to the rim of a hole, descending into a tunnel below. It is dark and a very unpleasant smell rises up from below. If you wish to climb down the ladder, turn to 321. If you wish to replace the manhole cover and continue east, turn to 205. So I'm going to keep going down. 321 down. I'm curious now where this leads me to. At the bottom of the ladder, you realize, much to your disgust, that you are standing in a sewer. In a place like this. There are torches along the tunnel wall, giving a very dim light, and droplets of water make eerie sounds as they fall into the sewage water. If you wish to walk north along the tunnel, that shouldn't be sewage water, it's sewage sludge, probably. Also, who has a toilet here? I mean, really? Indoor toilets? That needs sewers? I don't think so. If you wish to walk north along the tunnel, turn to 356. If you wish to walk south, turn to 118. So I've got the option of going north, 356 north, or 118 south. It might just be the sewers connected to some, like a palace or something, but I'm going to walk south, 118. You can hear some scratching sounds in the tunnel ahead. Then you see a long shadow appear on the... Oh! Sorry, bumped into my camera there, obviously. Where was I? Then you see a long shadow appear on the curved brick wall. In the dim light, you can just make out the large shape of something black and shiny moving towards you. The scratching becomes louder and you also hear clicking sounds. The monster is only a couple of meters ahead of you when you recognize it as a giant centipede. Do you possess an insect bracelet? If you do, turn to 2. If not, turn to 166. Now, why would an insect bracelet work against a giant centipede? And a giant centipede is not an insect. It's an arthropod, but not an insect. Insects have 6 legs. Centipedes have more. Anyway, related, yes, but still. So that's what's going south, and there's a centipede. Let's see, and 2 insect bracelets. And 166. No. Okay, so I'm going to go to 166. Ooh. Skill 10. You will have to swing your sword with all your might to pierce the armor-like shell of this monster. Skill 10, stamina 5. If you win, turn to 272. Okay, so 272. Win. Okay. It's only got a stamina of 5 though, so it's not too bad. So I've got it's got 10, 5, and I'm at 8, 19. Good thing I had a good meal there. And so he rolls 10, I roll an 11, and he hits me actually. 17. He rolls an 8, I roll a 10. That's a draw. He rolled 11, and I roll 8, so that is him hitting me again. He rolls 11. I roll 12, and it's still hitting me because I all these good rolls come in. 9. Okay, so I'm down to 11. He rolls 10. I roll 7. I'm down to 9 hit points, which means I would have been 6 and 3, 7, and oh come on, 8, 11. Okay, that's finally I hit him. 6, 4, down to 5. I don't have much luck to use either. If I hit him again, I have to use luck and see if I can damage him extra. He rolls a 7. I roll a 2. No point using luck really. He rolls a 7. I roll a 6. I've got 1 hit point left. He rolls a 7. I need to roll 9 or more. 10. Okay, so that means I hit him. And I can try to use luck to do extra damage now. I need to roll 6 or less. No, so I'm only doing 1 damage, but that doesn't make a difference because I still need to hit him again then. And my luck is down to 5. Okay, I need to survive 1 more round. He rolls 10, which means I need to roll 12 to survive. And I didn't. And so I die. Right. That would have been quite exciting if I just made that one as well, but right. Okay, so that was my first journey into the City of Thieves, and obviously there's lots of things going on here and lots of items to purchase and find, lots of gold to find and lose and use as payment. There's the map is actually got room for additions this time, which is nice, even though this is the first playthrough. The second time I might go one of the different paths here and lead me somewhere else. So yeah, very interesting. I actually quite like this one so far. It seems quite exciting, and it seems that one of the big things about getting through this is finding the right items, getting the gold you need, not losing it. I certainly know a few things now that I'm not supposed to do for next time, and I know some things I have to do probably as well, like the finding the black pearls. I know where those are. So yeah, I'll be seeing you next time for another episode of City of Thieves. I'm not sure when that will be, because I do not tend to have as much time during the weekends, and by weekend I mean from Thursday to Sunday, as I do during the early part of the week, Monday to Wednesday. So it might not be until Monday until next time I have a chance to play this, because it takes such a long time, and I need to set aside the time for it. But I will get to it, and I'm actually really looking forward to doing it again and seeing if I can figure out how to solve this little thing. And of course, hopefully I'll roll a bit better skill and luck next time as well, because 9 isn't that great. And hopefully I won't lose my sword right at the beginning as well. That would be very helpful. I still haven't had any use for my skeletons keys that I bought in the beginning. Maybe I'll just skip buying those altogether. Of course, I won't even go on the same street next time, probably, so I'll have more money. Right, so thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient and following me all the way through into the City of Thieves, into Port Black Sand in this episode. It's been actually more than 2 hours. It's quite a long journey it has been, even though it's a first playthrough. And there certainly seems to be plenty of opportunity for me to die in this one, and there's a good chance that the next episode will be shorter. And this could have been a short episode if I died in the first battle where I was almost dead. So anyway, it will be exciting, and it will be interesting, and it will be fun, and it will be in probably Monday, but there we are. City of Thieves, great fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time as I play this. So goodbye for now. Bye bye.